Okay, so welcome to today's session. We will be talking about data visualization. That is, we will be our bulk for the day. And in terms of data visualization, we're basically talking about charts. Based on what you're seeing on your screen, we already have a bit of visualization owing to conditional formatting. You can actually tell in terms of federal shipping which one is doing well, which one is not doing well, where are we doing, what are the trends, etc. Okay, so for today, we look at charts. We look at popular charts that are used. Then after that, we'll also look at some of the chart elements that are found within the charts in Excel. Then we will call it a session. So for our case, I want us to, what you can do, Williamson, you can copy D charts. You can copy D charts. Let's copy that sheet. Just right click. Nice, nice. I always feel good when you practice what we preach. Okay, so you can clear the formatting. You can clear the formatting. Awesome. Nice one, nice one, nice one. I'm really excited about what you've just done. So a simple chart in Excel can do what numbers may not necessarily be able to communicate. It says more than a sheet full of numbers, and people are more inclined to see more inclined towards visuals rather than numbers. So when you're talking to a non-technical audience, what you need to understand is what would best bring out the message or the story that you want to tell. A simple chart would do you wonders when you want to communicate to your team, to your stakeholders who may not be as technical as you. So in Excel, we have so many charts. When you go to the Insert tab, go to the Insert tab, you have under the charts, you have all those options that are there. We have recommended charts. We have uh, we have all those charts that are there. We have maps. We have pivot charts, etc. We will look at pivot charts. We will also look at spark lines, and we'll be able to tell exactly what's going on in terms of the charts that are there. Okay, so one thing that you should notice is every time after you've completed an analysis, uh, remember the first session we talked about the 6 steps, data specification requirement, where you just in your head try to figure out what is the question that you want to answer. Okay, what is the hypothesis that you want to prove? After that, we went to data collection, data processing, data cleaning, data analysis. Then the last step is reporting. And reporting, a good number of times, is anchored on the visualization that you may come up with. Okay. So the complete data analysis process will only make sense when you are able to communicate the insights that you've gotten. Okay. And that's where charts come in. All right. So I want you to do this. Delete column C, E, H, and I. highlight C, then press Control. C, E, G, H, and I. Control, then click on G, then H, then I. In fact, when you get to G, you can highlight all of them.
I've done it.
Delete. I think there's a lag. I don't know if it's on my end. Yeah, we're still also delete that one. Awesome. Okay. So we'll begin with how do you come up with charts? One way of coming up with charts, similar to what we've done previously, is you first have to highlight the data that you want the chart to be in. Okay, and we talked about the quick analysis tool. So highlight from A1 to, you can just press on Control A. We talked about the shortcuts. Then you use the quick analysis tool. So when you click on the quick analysis tool, under the charts tab, click on charts tab. It will give you, based on the data that you have, recommendation. We can have a clustered column, stacked column, or clustered bar chart, or just stacked bar chart. Okay, at the very end. Okay, yeah. So those are the options that Excel thinks would best suit you. And ideally, from our case in point, we can very well tell that in terms of the overall supply, if this was a supply data, Germany was the one that was performing the best, while Norway was the country that was doing the poorest in terms of Federal, Speedy Express, and shipping, and United Package shipping. Okay. So just like that, you've come up with a chart and you're able to provide insights using the quick analysis tool. So if this does not work, if the recommendation does not suit you, the next thing you do is you go to the insert tab, you know what you're looking at, and you choose a chart that suits you. Okay. So that is one way using the quick analysis. I want you to delete that chart. We'll come back to it later. Let's delete it. Okay. So the other option is coming to the insert tab. Then you go to recommended charts. Click on the recommended charts. Under the charts tab, click on recommended. Once you click on the recommended charts, you get a feel, okay, of a suggestion of which charts would best suit you according to or the data that has been highlighted. So we see a clustered column. Okay, we are also seeing a map. Okay, click on map. I just want us to preview everything. We have a field map. Then we have what? We also have a stacked column. We have a stacked bar chart. Okay. We also have a scattered chart. Scattered. That is scatter. This one, the next one, just above it. No, that one. Yes, scatter chart. Then we have the bubble chart below. Yeah. Then that one. Then we have the funnel chart. Then we have the Pareto chart. Okay. So these are the charts that are available that Excel thinks that this would work for you. Okay. So always for inspiration, always look at the recommendations. You'll find that probably this would work based on the question that you want to answer. Okay. All right, then cancel. Okay. So those are the two ways of doing that. Right. So I want us to do this. I want us to do this. I want us to begin with a simple chart that is based on a cell, which can tell you a trend. Okay. So I want you to, on E, type in spark lines. Okay. So spark lines are graphs that fit in one cell. They are great for displaying trends, and Excel offers three. Okay. They offer three types of spark line. There is the line, there is column, then there is win and loss. So I want you to do this. Highlight E2 to E19. E2 to E19. This is where you want the spark lines to be at. Okay. Then on the insert tab under spark lines, go to click on line. Okay. Can you see that option? Here. Under spark lines, you remember we said there's a tab. Under the tab, we have groups, and within groups, we have commands. Yes. Then for that, highlight from B2 to D19. B2 to D19. Okay. Then click OK. All right. So you can tell the trend. Ideally, you can say that the federal, like there is a growth based on each variable as you go across. Okay. While there are others, there is a growth and there is a decline, and there are different types of trend. Like when you look at this one, is it Poland? So the federal shipping is not doing so well, while Express is doing well, and United is lower. Okay. Then there is this. This is showing a growth. If they were all interrelated, okay, if they were interdependent, you'd say that you'd be able to tell that this is affecting this variable is affecting the other, or this item is affecting the other. Okay, so sparklines are good for showing trend, and when you talk about trend, most of the time we think about time. Okay, all right. So you can change the sparkline to column or win or loss. Highlight E2 to E19. Then on the insert tab, choose column. Then the data range is E2 to E19.
E2.
Sorry, B2 to D19. and click OK. Yes. So the column spark lines are they behave similar to what we call the column charts, which we'll be looking at in a few minutes. Then win and loss, you can go to the on type under the spark lines is change to win and loss. Okay, so since there are no negative values, you will see them behaving that way. Okay. And I think the best one that would be good for us would be line. So you can click back to line. Okay. Awesome. Then you can customize your spark lines in such a way that you are able to see your high point, low point, etc. So I want you under the show, click on high point and low point. Check for high point and low point. Okay. All right. So if you had dates, maybe on the column headers were dates, such that we have maybe May, February, March, etc. They'd probably work. They would be better because there is a trend over time. But right now we're using this data just for illustration. Okay. Right. Those are the easiest. Sparklines are usually exciting and they are very easy to work with. Now we look at other charts that are available. So I want you to do this. Put in what? A column between D and E. Put in a column between D and E. Oh, yeah. Or just do this. Hide F. Awesome. It's okay, Lillian. Okay. So to create a chart is very simple. We look at how to create a chart. Highlight from A1 to D7, from A1 to D19. A1 to D19. Okay. So once you're there, go to the Insert tab. Then under Charts, we've already talked about recommended charts. I want you to use, now the first one, let's go over them. Okay, so just relax. So here we have the recommended charts. Then here we have column charts, stack chart, etc. Bar chart. Then we have line chart, area chart there. Then we have pie chart and donut. Is it donut or duff nut? My biology teacher used to call it duff nut. Donut chart. Okay. Then we have the option of a tree map here. Yes, hierarchy chart or tree map depends on the software. We have this other option of static chart. Then we have scattered bubble charts that are there. Okay. Then we have the option of funnel chart, radar chart. Then this last one is the histogram and Pareto or combo chart. Okay. Then we have this option for map and pivot chart. Okay. Those are the available options that are there. So we look at the column chart. We look at the column chart. So for a column chart, what normally happens It is used to compare values across categories by vertical bars. Okay, so we have the 2D column chart, we have the 3D, we have those are the column charts that are available to us. For our case, I want us to go for the 2D, and you can choose. There are three options there. There's the stacked 100%, there's the clustered column, then the stacked column, then stacked column 100%. Yes, for our case, I want us to use the first one. Yes. Okay. So based on this, we can actually tell a number of things. Okay. So we'll use first, we'll go into the chart tab, the chart design tab here on top. That is what we'll look at for a few minutes before we go to any other chart. So at the very top here, these are customized chart. You can only see it when you are in the data that has been that is involved. Okay, so we have the chart design, and you also have the format. Okay, so under the chart design, on the very far left, we have the chart layout group, where we have add chart element and quick layout. The same for the add chart element, you see there's a plus icon. It is similar to this one here. So both of them work the same. So you can either make adjustments using the ribbon or this plus icon next to the chart. Okay. Then when you talk about formatting, you can use also this. Okay. All right. So let's look at the chart design. We do a number of elements. So click on the add chart elements on the ribbon. Okay. So we have the axis. I click on that. So we have the primary horizontal. If you know, since he's using black, you cannot very well tell, but there's a darker theme. Okay. Right now, the primary horizontal and primary vertical axis are active. If he just clicks on one, you'll notice that the other one will disappear. Just click on primary horizontal. Okay. Now we've lost something. Go back. Yes. So ideally, as we begin, when working with our data, Excel knows which one is best for you. Okay. Primary and horizontal need all to be active. All right. So that is it. Let's go to the axis titles. Axis titles are the variables that are involved. Would you like to give them a name so that someone can easily tell what's going on the x-axis and the y-axis? Okay, so this one is the horizontal. This one is the vertical. Okay. So the one at the bottom is the x-axis, or you just call it the horizontal axis. So we have the axis titles. Okay. All right. So I want you to go to axis title, primary horizontal. Yes, you can give it. Now we lost the names of the countries. Do this, undo until you get the names. I normally don't like to. Yes. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yes, normally don't mess with the access, the first option. It's always good as it is. But if you don't want them, you know where to go. Okay, so let's go to add chart element. Click on axis, horizontal. Okay, so yeah, countries. Then for axis, do we really need them? Axis vertical, chart design, add chart element. So if you need to provide a name, you can always provide a name. Okay. So what would you give that? Is it values, amount, or millions, etc.? Come up with a suitable name. Okay. All right. And you can just call it values for the sake of illustration. Okay. I'm feeling that this chart is small. So do this. Go to the edge and just drag it to the right so that it can be a bit bigger. Yes, looks better. Okay. So you can do that to drag your chart. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So the next thing is we have go to chart design tab. Yes, add chart element. So we have what we call chart title. So you can either have a chart title, choose hover on none, then above chart. Yes, so you see none, above chart, then centered overlay. And if those do not suffice, you have the more title options. You can look at it at your own time. So click on already above chart is okay. So you can give your chart a suitable title. Most of the time, I like to tell my students that when you're providing a title, provide it such that no one has to call you and ask you, what is this really doing? Okay. So you can, yeah, that's okay. Or you can do this. Call it shipping revenue in billions. We assume those are billions. Okay. Yes. All right. So it's okay. Let me clear my drawing. The next thing we're going to look at, go back to chart design, chart element. We have data labels. Okay. The good thing is the about Excel is the preview option. So you can always play around. Remember, this is the last step. So you have all the time. These are aesthetics that would make sense to your stakeholders, be it their technical or non-technical audience. So you can do hover over each entry and see which one uh, you like. So we have the center, which looks poor based on our data. Insert end, ins inside the base, outside, data call out. They look helter-skelter, so you don't need them for now, right? But if you add values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe they would have worked. But for our case right now, they are not good. Okay? So you don't need the labels. So if that happens, we can go to the table, the data table, just the next option. Yeah, so you can with legend keys and without legend keys. Okay? So if you're doing a presentation, and you want to be clear when you're doing your presentation, which value got what etc. You can use with the legend keys. You can also use the one with no legend keys. The legend keys are these colors that have been given to the three variables or the three column, the three labels that are there. Blue is for federal shipping, orange is for speedy express, and the last one is united package. Okay, those are the legend keys. Then without legend keys, no legend keys, that is how they look. Okay, so if you had to use them, I would go with legend keys, just for the sake. Yeah, that is okay. Then I want you to do this. Yes, thank you. Move to the right again. Yeah, good, 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 good. Nice one. All right. Okay, so let's go to the other chart element. Okay, so we have error bars. These are more statistical, but they're just errors to show you deviation when you use standard deviation. So most of the time, unless you're doing statistics, very low levels research that requires you to do error bars, you can always come here to this option. Just have a view over them. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you. Thank you. We have grid lines. Let's look at grid lines. Okay. So the grid lines are those lines that are running up and down your chart. So you can check if you really want to have grid lines. If you don't, you look at which one you like. Then if none of them pleases you, you can leave your chart as is or go further and just pick one. Okay. So if Williamson, you found one that you like, you can pick. If you don't want them, you can still not use them. Okay. By the way, I hope right now, if you've been following up with what we've been doing, we are on chapter 15 of our Excel workbook. Okay. So I don't know if you've tried looking at that Excel workbook, the textbook that I shared with you on our Google Classroom. Right now, this chapter is basically on chapter 15. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's go to legend. Okay, so we have the legend. I've already showed you what it is. So if you need it to be on top, you need it to be on the right, you need it to be on left, etc. You choose where you want it. Okay, so you can either have it on top or at the bottom or on your right. Rarely have I seen it on the left. Okay. Okay, so you can choose one, either between top or bottom, or none, because you already have it there. Okay, awesome. That's okay. Then, if we have, okay, have I frozen? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we have the trend line. So if your data has, what do we call it? If your data has time involved, you can always use the trend line to forecast or predict. Okay. Our data does not have time, so we can maybe we can look at that option. using the data that is on the data sheet, the sheet called data later on. Okay, so we can look at it when we'll be talking about line charts. Okay, so that is one way of doing it. You add elements based on what you prefer. But there is another option, a probable template that is there. We have the quick layout. So we have 9 options. Sorry, 11. Okay. So you can hover your mouse over each. You see how they appear. If you like it, you crown it. You choose it. So you have all of them. You can hover over each. If you still feel that yours is the best, the one that we had picked, you just click elsewhere and we continue. Okay. So Excel looks at the data that you have, gives you options. Then based on those options, you pick one that suits you and you're good to go. Okay. If you don't like any, you just click outside. Your initial setup, your initial choices will be as they were. So, we have change colors. So for colors, it's just to choose the palette that is interesting for you. So we have a colorful palette. We have also a monochromatic. Okay. So you can go over each. But then again, when you look at when you go to the format tab and you have your data, you have your color scheme for your organization, you can go to the format tab and change for yourself. Okay, you can choose the fill for each color. Maybe you are comparing between Safaricom, Telcom, and Airtel. So for Safaricom, you'd probably pick green. Telecom pick blue, then Airtel you would probably pick red. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that later on. Don't worry about it. So go back to chart design. Okay, so you can choose a palette that you prefer. Okay, based on those that are there. Just pick any, or if you are comfortable with what we had, we can still go on as is. Okay. Sorry about that. So we have the chart styles. Chart styles are themes that you would probably use. I want you to click on this arrow that gives you the gallery of all options. Okay, so you can hover over each, then see what works, what does not work. If you find one that works for you and you like it, you crown it, etc. So start with the first one. Then at the tail end of this is called window shopping. You'll settle with the one that you have now seen, or we will still continue with the ones that the one that we had created for ourselves. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, that is good. That is well. That is well. Let us look at switch row to column. Okay, so for the switch row to column, your data, what was in the row side will be turned to the column, while all that was in the column side will become to the row. That is basically what happens. Okay, so you can click on it and see how your data looks like. Yes. Does it make sense? No. Okay, so click back row to column. Yes. So depending on the kind of data that you have, it will work and it will not work. Okay. For our data, switching does not make sense. All right. So the last one, the last option, this is the select data. So for select data, you choose, let's say we are looking at the blue Speedy Express. Click on select data. And yeah, so we have the dialog box that select data source and check for federal and united. Okay, then click OK. All right, so you can see based on that, you can actually tell that Poland was the one that did the poorest, while Germany was the one that did the best in terms of shipping for Speedy Express. Okay, all right. Click on select data again. So if you're interested in a country's performance, let's say you want to check for federal shipping and united package, then uncheck every country and only remain with Austria. Okay. Yes. Okay, so you can say in Austria, it is what that was doing well. Yes, in Austria, it is United Package that was actually performing the best. Okay. Then now click on select data to select all of them again. If you're interested in one country or you're interested in three or all of them, you know where to go. Then you have the option of add. There, just a moment. Add, edit, remove. You have those options. If you need to add another range or edit or remove, you have all those options. Okay. Then again, we have the option of switch row to column. Yeah, it's still available there. So just click on OK. Okay. That is it. That is it. That is it. Then we have the change chart type. Change chart type. So if you find that your clustered column is not working for you, you have all those other options. Okay. So you can think which one would work best. You can click on bar chart. So bar chart, that is how the bar chart would look. Okay. All right. So you can click OK. And I still prefer that one. Yeah, so a bar chart is basically a column chart that is horizontal. And a column chart is a bar chart that is vertical. Okay. Awesome. Great, 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 great. Then the last option on the same chart design tab is the move chart. You can move your chart to another sheet. So if you want your data to be separate from your chart to be separate from the data, you can move it to another sheet. So click on move chart. Yes, then click on new sheet. Then click OK. Okay. So your chart is on its own. All right. So that is it. That is it. That is it. That is it. So the data is on the other side, but the chart is on its own. Change that chart to a column chart again. Yeah. Click OK. All right. Looks better. Looks better for me. All right. Okay. Then there on top, where we have the format chart. So the format chart, I will not delve into everything, but I want you to click on the blue for what? Blue, the blue color, the blue here. No, that one on the chart, the blue column, one of the blue columns. Yes. Then click on change fill, shape fill. Yeah. Then choose purple. Okay. So that is how you're able to change the fields. Okay. You can come here because this is more of aesthetics. You can come here and play around. You can shape outline, shape effects, etc. Okay. That is it. That is it. That is it. Okay. I want you to click on this plus icon. So again, as I said earlier, all the options that were on the chart design tab on the very left are available here. Then for formats, they have this is called what? This painter icon that is there. Okay. So you have you can change the style, you can change the color. Okay. All right. Then you have the filter option. Filter, basically that icon. I think we've now met it enough times. So you can unselect for Speedy Express and United package so that we remain with it. Yes. Then click on apply. Click apply. Have you clicked on apply? Yeah. Okay. So you can filter and you see how each chart it's called what? Each label is performing. Like right now we have the United package. So for the United package, again, Germany is doing wonders. While is it Poland or the other one? I cannot see very clearly. That is doing poorest. Okay. So you can click on the filter, then you select all so that we can see everything. Select all and also there. Select all, then apply. Okay. Awesome. All right. So for our screenshot for today, it's basically a picture of a column chart having having the data table, okay, on its own, on a or separate from the data. Okay. So that will be our column chart. So So the chart name, instead of calling it chart 1, you can call it revenue chart. Okay, press enter. You're good to go. Okay. Awesome. Any question? All right. If there is no question, let's look at other types of charts before we call it a session. So we've looked at the column chart. Okay. Okay, we can look at it later on. We see if it's a user problem. I think it's supposed to do something. Can you share your screen, Susan?
Okay.
Yes, Williamson, you can stop sharing your screen. Hi, Judith. Welcome today. Gloria also. Nice to see you. So Merab is not around today. I only have one Judith. Okay.
I'm around.
You are around?
Yes.
Okay. So click on the chart. Click on the design tab.
Remove this screen.
Design tab. Yeah, there. Move chart. New chart. New sheet. No. Click on new sheet. Then click OK.
All right. Thank you. I saw something I didn't do.
Oh, okay. It's okay. That's why I'm here. All right. Let's go back. Williamson. Okay. So for our next it's called what? Our next chart is called the line chart. Let's use trying to see where we have what data. Go to data. Which chart are we using? Have that. Okay. All right, let's try this. So we have the line chart. The line chart is used to, most at times, it is used to compare categories in regard to time. Okay. We use it to display trends over time, and we use the line chart. For our case, I want us to use the pivot chart so that we go to click on your data. Then I want you to click on table design. And summarize the pivot data. Yeah, then click OK. Then use year and students. Okay. So, just there, go to this is called what? Insert chart. I know I'm seeing it. Go to tools, then pivot chart. So for pivot chart, I want you to click on line. Okay, click OK. Okay. So with the pivot chart, with the line chart, we are able to see the trend from your side. What can we tell about the data? Are we having an upward trend or a downward trend? Comment on the chart, upward trend or a downward trend. Williamson says downward. Downward. Okay, downward. So everybody believes that there is a downward trend. So the line chart is able to show you trends. Then I told you earlier, we would be able to look at the trend line. So I want you to click on the data, on the chart. Then under the design, click on design. Or let's use this one, since we can get the same. Click on the plus icon next to the chart. Then go to trend line. Then click on that arrow that is pointing to the right. Then click on linear. Linear. Have you clicked on linear?
Yes.
You've clicked on linear. All right, go back. I want us to come up with a trend line. Click on more options. Then linear. Then scroll down. Then forward 2 periods. So we want to, even 1 period. Well, let's just see in 2020, what will be the number of students. Just delete that 0, 1, then go down. Are we having any other option? Yes, we normally do not have that one for clicking. Okay, now cancel. They are on format trend line, cancel on top. Yeah, so ideally, what Excel is telling us in 2020, we will go to negative if the trend continues. You're seeing where the trend line is? Is it negative or, yeah, that is almost negative or 0. The school will be down or the gym will be down. So with the trend line, you can do forecasting. You can forecast 2 years or 3 years, depending on how far you want to forecast. Okay. And also again, with that trend line, we now see the gradient. Like this is actually going down or this is moving up. You can tell from the trend line. Okay. All right. Awesome. So let's look at something else. You can have that chart in another sheet. Then rename that sheet. This is students' attendance or what something. Okay. Let's go to the pivot table. So Another thing we can do with our data, we can display the contribution of each year in terms of the total, like which year had the highest percentage. Okay, so let's go to pivot table analyze. Click on pivot chart. Then go to pie. And click OK. So from this pie chart, which year had the highest number of student attendees? Okay. Someone is saying 2019. 2017. 2017. All right. So based on what we are seeing, we can tell that it is 2017 that had the highest contribution of students. Now try using the data callout. Click on that chart, then click on the plus icon, then click on data labels, then yes, now try the other option. Now they will work. They are suitable. You have data callout, look at best fit, look at outside end, inside end, center, center. And so you have all those options. Choose one that befits or you like, then you go ahead with it. All right. Yes. Okay. So that's the pie chart. That's the pie chart. And we use it to show the contribution of each value compared to the total. Okay. Awesome. Then we look at another one. We've already looked at it, but it's also good to just do it again. The bar chart is a horizontal version of a column chart. So with the bar chart, let's do this. Yebo, thank you. Yes, so you can click on bar chart and click OK. So as I said earlier, this is a horizontal version of a column chart. You normally use it when you have large text labels. Okay, if you have large text labels, like the countries that we had there, you could use it in the other sheet that we're using. You could use the bar chart. So when you have categories to compare, like right now, we can easily tell 2017 was the best, while 2019 was the worst. Okay, that is it. So use this chart to compare values across a few categories. Use it when the chart shows duration or the category is wrong. Hey, the category text is long. Okay. All right. So look. I want us to look at another chart, a famous chart. Let's go to the sheet that had shipping revenues. Okay. Yes. Highlight A1 to B19. A1 to B19. B for and then B. Yeah. Then go to the insert tab. Then go to maps. Click on it. Click I accept. So it's loading. So if you have data that has locations or destinations that are recognized around the world, you can use the map. And one thing I'd want to inform you, maybe you want to use counties on your Excel. You must make sure that Kenya is recognized in that data. Like if you have the 47 counties, also add Kenya so that Bing, because this is a Microsoft product, will know that this is in Kenya. Okay, I don't know if I made that clear. That if you're looking at maybe performance in terms of the different counties and you use the map, okay, unless the Bing map has been improved, you will have to make sure that if Nairobi is in your data, also you have to include Kenya, like a column having Kenya, a column having the other, there's 47 counties and the values that you're interested in, so that Bing, which is used to bring out the map, there. Then you notice that there is a color scale that has been used in the map. So very light, almost white is 1, while pure dark blue is 1274, which is a country, a small country, Germany. Okay. All right. I hope that is well. All right. Awesome. So let's look at another chart. We look at the combination chart. I want you to come up with a new sheet. Come up with a new sheet. Click on sheet 1. Is this sheet 1? I want you to type month on A1. Okay. Month. Then on B1, rainy days. Rainy days. Then on C1, profit. Okay. Awesome. So on A2, type in Jan up to December. No, you don't need to do that. Okay, awesome. Go ahead. Yes. All right. So 12, 11, 10, going down. Yes. 9, 8, 6, 7, or you've typed them all down. No, at 7. Now I want you to change. Once you get to 6, change it to 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay. Then there, let's have 3600, 4700, 5,300, 6,700, 8,900, 12,000, 15,000, 12,000, 9,700, 9,800, 6,600, 50, 5,000. Okay. All right. So a combination chart is a chart that combines two or more chart types in a single chart. Okay. So as we've said previously, the first thing you need to do for you to establish any chart or table, highlight the data. Then on the insert tab, go to charts. Then under charts, yes, insert combo chart. Then once you're there, click on create custom combo chart. Okay, so we have that. So for the rainy days, let us have a clustered column. That is okay. Then we will use the profit as the secondary axis. So click on secondary axis, underline. Yes. So if you're noticing, click OK. Then we'll talk about then what you should be noticing. So we have this. We have this axis. The primary axis. You remember we talked about it. The primary axis is the one on the left. Okay. And we have this secondary axis that has the line chart. Okay. So when you have that, you can easily tell a relationship. Give your chart a title, that is rainy days versus profit or etc. or anything that you feel. Profit. Okay. So for our case here, I want you to look at the chart. You can tell me, or you can type in the chat, what's the relationship between rain and profit? In fact, the first question is, which type of business do you think this one is? Which business do you think could experience such a trend? Okay, let me look at the chart. Umbrella business. Okay. All right. So someone says umbrella. Type in the chart. Which business do you think this one is? Look at the chart very clearly. On the very left, we have the rain, and on the very right, we have the profit. Horticulture. I want to hear everyone. We are 19 people. Blankets. Beryl says blankets. Okay. Okay. Let me ask Stanley, why horticulture? Then Beryl will tell us why blankets.
Okay,
You
in
can
my opinion,
unmute.
because okay, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Niko na homa kidogo. Na hata I say, because I'm talking about the rain days because horticulture, because we require rain so that we can make vegetable, tomato, and onions. Therefore, because I'm seeing it's growing, then horticulture as well can do another umbrella. Because when you are in Nairobi, when it's raining, people will be running for buy umbrellas so that they can shed themselves out of rain. Thank you. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay. Let me ask you, when the rain is high, Is the profit high?
In my opinion, it depends. For example, let me say when the rain is high, the vegetables will be there. Okay, I'm assuming
Okay,
those
I'm
horticulture will be
asking
there.
based on the chart.
Yes.
Just look at the chart. Which is the month that had the highest profit?
That's July and August.
July and August. What about the rain?
Yes. The rain, it was low, basically because the
Okay,
profits red. Then find that January, February, March, and April, the profit were down. Then it started peaking in May, and then it started dropping in September. And level between September and October, it was on a level, and then gradually dropped between October and December.
okay, all right.
Yes.
So you're saying horticulture thrives on little rain, and they make big profit.
Yeah, because you'll plant them during the rain, and when the
Mhm.
rain are gone, then people will be in need of those particular horticulture. Then this when the rain are down, then everybody will, because nobody else can plant. Then those who are already planted, they'll come for it. That's the reason, in my opinion, that's the reason why the graph
Okay,
between May and September is high.
okay, all right.
Yes, Alan.
So umbrella in July. If you're saying the rain is little in July, how does that relate with the profit? Because we're
That one I
saying in
think
July, you
I
have
scored very
confused.
little. Yeah, that one I scored very little. To be honest, that one I scored out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Beryl, blankets.
I would change that because okay, okay. It could work because
Okay.
when the rain is high, blankets are expensive, so you don't buy them.
Uh,
You buy fewer. Then when it doesn't rain, because they are cheap, you'll buy more. If I'm thinking like that. Yeah.
okay. Okay. It's any answer is right as long as you can defend it. Let me look at any other answer. Ice cream. Let's hear from people from ice cream. Judith, why ice cream?
Okay, me, I think during rainy days, people purchase less ice cream because of the cold. And
Mm-hmm.
during hot days, people purchase more ice cream because of the joto. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. So that is the combo chart. Okay. From our analysis here, we can tell that when the rain is low, we make more profit. While when the rain is high, we make less profit. Okay. So the combo chart, you combine two charts and you're able to work with them. With that said and done, I think we are overdue 1 minute. I will ask you to go over chapter, it's called what? Chapter 15. Chapter 15 of our textbook, especially chapter 16, where you learn about adding graphics to worksheets. Okay. Any question before we close? We wrap up? Okay, I will take your silence as consent. Otherwise, we've had a good session. Now for our next class, I will share a link which you should read on so that it will be very easy for us to go ahead. Okay, we'll be talking about Power Query. Power Query, it's on, click on Data tab. So it's Power Query and it's under the Get and Transform Data. That is what we'll be covering in our next session. Okay. All right. So let's have a good evening. See you on Thursday. Thank
Excuse me,
you.
Mwalimu.
Thank you.